Hey guys, Sean Media just want to do a big shout out to Rugby League Culture Lounge. All the best this year, 2020.
Alright, oh, yeah! Fuck!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the YouTube channel. My name is Nick from Australia, and yes, I have had a fresh shave this evening. I hope you guys are all doing well on this very nice Saturday night. It is July 29, 2023, and welcome to the Saturday Football Review. Hope you guys are all doing well. Tonight, to help me with the review, it is Cody Games PlayStation. Once again, backing up from last night, he's here again. Cody, how are you, my friend?
Yeah, I'm going well, very Nick. We went through 3 NRL games, one controversial, one surprising result, and one one-sided game as well.
Yeah, look, we will get into it. I have a big problem with how that Dragons Manly game ended up. I have a big problem with it. And, yeah, I'm probably going to lose it when we get to that. But as always, hello to the live chat. Hello to Liam Pritchard. Hello to Tupac. Interesting. Hello to Jeffrey, William Pearson, Jason Reeder, everyone that is arriving into the review. I hope you guys are all doing well tonight. Yeah, Super Saturday. Crazy, some crazy results, man. I mean, we'll go through the scores here. So obviously, the Knights went down to Canberra there, and they defeated the Raiders 28 points to 6. Dragons and Manly out at Wollongong. Very controversial game. Manly got up in that one, 24 points to 18. And then the Panthers obviously destroyed the Sharks 28 points to 0. That Panthers and Sharks game was extremely hard to watch. I'm not going to lie. With 20 minutes to go, I turned it off. I saw enough. The game was over. The Sharks looked like absolute shit. And it's like I said, back in around 18 or 19, after they beat the Tigers, the Sharks, I said they're going to go on a bad run here because they can't beat top 8 sides and they're going to miss out on the top 8. Well, the longer the season goes, the more of a genius I look. They look horrible, the Sharks, Cody. What's your take on the Sharks, bro? They have just fallen off a cliff.
Yeah, they were all out of sorts tonight, and the last couple of weeks hasn't been very well either. And it's got a tough game against my boys next week over in Perth.
It's a huge game, actually, because Souths were a bit off last night, obviously, and the Sharks were terrible. How big of a loss do you think Will Kennedy is? He'd done his hamstring.
Yeah, it's going to be a huge blow for the Sharks. He's one of their better players and key player in the spine as well. No, it's going to be a tough loss with Kennedy. I think his season is done from what it looks like.
Yeah, hamstrings are a very tricky injury to get a read on. They can be 4 to 6 weeks. They can be 2 weeks. They could be a week, depending on the scan and how bad it is. So you can't predict hamstrings, bro. We just saw Nathan Cleary did his hamstring against the Dragons back in round 16? Whatever, I don't even know what round it was after Origin.
Yeah,
and round 17 it might have been, and it took him 6 weeks to get back. So hamstrings, you can't mess around with them, man. You can't mess around with them. All right, let's go back to the first game. Knights 28, Raiders 6. The Newcastle Knights, well, I can't believe how good they're playing. I gave them a chance in this game. I thought Canberra at home would win. I thought they would bounce back after playing in New Zealand. But Newcastle, they've just got this. they've got this ocean of momentum at the moment, and everything they're doing is just clicking. It's working. Hastings is now in good form. He's got, he's comfortable in his position. Ponga at fullback looks so much better. Tyson Gamble at 6 is just doing the job. What'd you make of Newcastle, bro? I was very surprised with how good they played today.
Yeah, no. Shout out to the Newcastle Knights. They've come a long way from this year. Been on a winning form. I think that's 4 in a row for them now, isn't it?
They're flying.
And still have a chance of making the 8. Smoky for the top 8 for this year.
Well, they're 1 point from the 8, bro. They are 1 point out. So all it's going to take is one bad game next week. Now, funny enough, if the Cowboys win tomorrow, they will go to 5th. And if the Knights beat the Dolphins next week and South beat the Sharks, Sharks will be out of the 8.
Well, won't be too shocked they fall out of the 8 the way that they're playing. They don't deserve to be in the top 8.
I think it's just remarkable. Newcastle looked like they were gone, but now they've found a bit of momentum. Obviously, it all started after that Bulldogs game when I put 66 on them. We all said, "Oh, it's not a big deal." Then they beat the Tigers. No one really thought too much of that game. Then they beat the Storm last week in Newey. That was outstanding. And then today against Canberra in Canberra, Newcastle have beaten 2 teams in the top 8 the last 2 weeks. So I think it's time we start taking Newcastle a bit more seriously. And shout out to Jackson Hastings and Ponga, man. Like at the start of the year, that was the halves combination. It just didn't work out. But ever since Ponga's gone to 1, Hastings is the halfback controlling the team. They are gelling really well together, aren't they? As a combination.
Yeah, they definitely are really surprised after they put Ponga at 5'8" for the first couple of games.
Yeah, no, you're right. Now, on to the Raiders. Let me just say, they're very lucky with their run home. They are very lucky they've got a good run home, man. Because, they might be in trouble. Because, look, they got the Tigers next week in Canberra, which they surely win that, the Raiders. Surely. Then they play Melbourne, who they have a very good record against. Then they play the Bulldogs in Canberra. Surely they beat the Bulldogs, right? And then they play Brisbane at home. And then they finish off with the Sharks in the Shire. So they should beat the Tigers and they should beat the Bulldogs. That'll get them to 32 points. 32 points might be enough for 8th. I don't know. But tonight, this afternoon, I don't know what excuses Canberra have got left because, they started really poorly against the Warriors last week, and then they tried that late comeback, but it didn't work out. But today, they were horrible. And, bro, their left side attack with Whiten and Hudson Young and Croker, it's just so predictable, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely is.
They just seem to be so stale. Anyway, obviously the try scorers, Newcastle had tries through Ponga, Marzu, Dom Young, Tyson Gamble. For the Raiders, a try to Jordan Rapana. Last thing I will mention as well, do you think Sebastian Kris was lucky not to be sin bin for that mid-air collision with Ponga, or do you think it was just an accident?
I think he was very lucky not to be sin bin.
I'm not going to lie. I was actually surprised it was a penalty because the ball went up and Kris was going at full pace. He couldn't slow down. When you look at the replay of it, Kris isn't even looking at Ponga. He's looking at the ball. And then obviously collides with Ponga and he ends up in the air. But, I can live with a penalty, but, anything more. If he had got bin, that would have been terrible. But anyway, good win for the Knights. They continue their streak, 4 in a row. They play the Dolphins next week in Perth. That's going to be a really big game, actually. And the Raiders, well, they got the Tigers, and they have to win that. Who's your player of the game from Raiders Knights? For me, it's between Hastings and Ponga, but I'm going to go with Hastings. I thought he was fantastic.
Yeah, not a bad one. Yeah, I'll go Ponga. Been outstanding with the Knights, so Ponga player of the match for me.
Yeah, Ponga was great. All right, let's go to the middle game. Manly 24, Dragons 18. This game was at Wynn Stadium. Obviously, DCE's 300th game, which was a big occasion. A lot of Manly fans travelled to the Gong. Shout out to content creator Pro Enzo Vids. I know he was there and he was seen on TV a few times. Well done on the win, mates. Well done to Manly. Cody, I've got some big problems with how this game ended up. I thought the refereeing in this game was some of the worst I've seen all year.
Yeah, very, very unusual refereeing. Who was the ref for this game?
So, Chris Sutton was the on-field official, and Casey Badger was the bunker official. Now, I've got two fucking things I need to get off my chest. So, I'm just going to give everyone a warning. If you do not like swearing, if you are underage, maybe turn the volume down for the next few minutes because I am very angry and I'm gonna flip. All right. Let me start with this. The no try to Dan Russell. That was one of the most fucked up things I have ever seen in an NRL game this season. Dan Russell fucking scored that try. That was a try every day of the week. Now, I get the on-field call was no try. I completely understand that point of view. But here's my problem. You listen to the bunker. Casey Badger's going through it, right? Casey Badger is going through it. And she says, oh, we can see that he's over the try line. We just need to see if he's got the ball down. You can clearly see the fucking ball is on the white line. It's a try. But then she changes her fucking tone. She changes her wording. And she decides to go with the on-field decision of no try. So why would you get into that position? Why would you get into that situation where you are making it look believable and you are giving everyone hope that it's going to be green lights and a try? The fact that that was a no try, I thought was a complete fucking disgrace, and it changed the game on its head because guess what happened? 2 sets later, Manly score a fucking try through Jason Saab. That's a fucking game changer up right there. Bro, it was 18-8 Manly. It would have been 18-12, 18-14. And then Saab goes down the other end and scores a try. That's a fucking 16-point turnaround for Manly. The Dragons at that point are fucked. That is a fucking embarrassment. And then the poor old Dragons had to try and get back in the game. Credit to them. They scored a try when they had fucking 12 men up against 13. I'll get to the Jack DeBellin hip drop in a moment. But that no try to Dan Russell completely changed the momentum of this game. And that fucking killed the Dragons. And if you want to know something else, let's get to the fucking Jack DeBellin sin bin. You're going to call that a hip drop? That wasn't even fucking close to a hip drop. I have seen worse this season. I remember there was a game. I think it was Manly versus Melbourne at Brookvale earlier this season. Trent Liero from the Melbourne Storm. He does a hip drop, which is one of the worst ones I've seen this year. It literally fucking stays in my head because it was a nasty hip drop. And it's memorable because it was a fucking terrible tackle and it's disgraceful. How in the fuck was that a sin bin on Jack DeBellin? That wasn't even close to a hip drop. If that's a hip drop, we might as well give these fucking players Oz tag. We might as well put fucking straps on him and play Oz tag. For fuck's sake, man. That was embarrassing.
Yeah.
That was absolutely fucking embarrassing. And the thing is, right, I'm a Cowboy supporter. I couldn't care less about the Dragons or the Seagulls. I don't care who wins. But I want the referees to get the fucking calls right. I want common sense. I don't want to see a team get dudded of a fucking try. I don't want someone to be disallowed a try that we all know is a try at home and people at the stadium, and then next fucking set, Manly go ahead and score a try in the corner, and next minute, Manly up by 16. Very hard for the Dragons to come back from there. Credit to them for getting back in the game, but fuck me. It is very difficult. I'm going to go on record and say tonight the Dragons were robbed. Now, I haven't even been criticizing the referees too much this season. I haven't said many teams have been robbed. This might be the third or fourth time this year where I've said someone's been dudded by the referee. Tonight, the Dragons were robbed against Manly, and it's going to take a hell of a lot to change my mind. That was fucking disgraceful. And let me just say this as well to Chris Butler, the on-field referee. He lost all control of the game tonight. He had no idea what he was doing. He was so fucking scared to make a big decision. Every big decision he wanted to make tonight, he wanted to send it upstairs to Casey Badger. Casey Badger is absolutely fucking hopeless. Now, I love women in the game. I think women in rugby league is outstanding. I think they play a very important role in the NRL, and they do a fantastic job behind the scenes and on the field as well. For example, Belinda Sharp's a very good fucking referee. Now, if we're going to have female referees in the bunker for NRL games, you've got to be fucking on the ball, man, because the problem is now, people are so scared at the top to fucking put them in reserve grade for a week because they're going to come up with some bullshit, homophobic fucking bullcrap. So, look, I'm just so disappointed and frustrated. That Dragons Manly game absolutely pissed me off, and I thought it was a disgrace how that game was officiated. I thought the Dragons were fucking robbed. That was terrible. Cody, you might have a different opinion, but that's my rant over. I had to get it out there because it was driving me mad for the last fucking 3 hours. What a disgrace.
Yeah, fair enough, Nick. I think Dragons, yeah, they were definitely robbed tonight. That definitely changed the way the game was pacing and all that as well.
You know, I put up an Instagram story tonight, and I was watching it over and over again, this fucking Jack de Belin hip drop. I'm looking at it right now, and I'm looking at it, and I'm trying extremely hard to understand. De Belin's got like one arm on him, bro. It's like, how's it a hip drop?
Should not have been a hip drop.
How is that a hip drop? Like, seriously. I think it was Good Friday as well. There was one against the Bulldogs against Souths. It might have been Jacob Preston. Can't remember who it was. That was even a horrible call. Oh my God. Fucking hell. Now, I want to say as well, well done to Manly on the win, but the refereeing tonight it was so bad. Like I got no words. Fucking horrible. And if you guys haven't seen yet, Ryan Carr, the Dragons interim coach, he did not hold back in the press conference. He had some strong comments about the no try to Dan Russell and the so-called hip drop. So I don't blame him for being upset. But anyway, the tries from Manly Dragons, obviously for Manly, tries to Koala, Olakau'atu, Garrick and Saab. And for the Dragons, tries to Mollo, Burns, and Sloan. Yeah, anyway. I don't know what more to say about this Dragons Manly game, bro, because like I'm too upset to even talk about it because I thought that was just poor refereeing.
Yeah, nothing much else to say. all it was. Dragons were robbed, but good on Manly for winning. That should have been better refereeing, honestly.
Well done to DCE on 300 games. I mean, that was great. That was great to see. My player of the game from the Manly Dragons game tonight. Look, I'm going to go Ruben Garrick. Thought he played well at fullback, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. I could go with Ruben Garrick. He's been an awesome backup fullback since Turbo went down injured.
100%. Well, let's go to the final game of Super Saturday. Panthers 28, Sharks 0. Fucking hell. This game was horrible. This game was so bad, Cody. I turned it off with 20 to go. Once Liam Martin scored, I turned it off.
Fair enough.
That was horrible, bro. That game was horrible. Now, also, I just want to let everyone know that I have made a bet with All Out Champa. If the Panthers win the premiership this season and do a three-peat, I will be sending All Out Champa $100. Champa will be sending me $100 if the Cowboys finish in the top 4. So
Nice.
You guys can let me know what you think about the bet, but Cowboys for the top 4, it's not impossible. And Panthers to go 3 in a row, well, fuck, I hope not.
No.
But that's the bet that me and All That Champa have made. Yeah, Penrith against Cronulla, bro. This game was, you know what? I'll say this. You know, the first 20 minutes I thought was a very good contest. Well, I'll be good.
Yeah.
I'll be good. Yeah, but I don't know what happened there. My connection decided to shit the bed because the game was that bad. But yeah, Cody, bro, with the Penrith Cronulla game, Luai had that first try early on, but I thought the Sharks gave a good crack early on, but the longer the game went, Penrith just went nuts, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Cronulla were all right for the first 20, but after that, they didn't know where they were.
As soon as William Kennedy went down with a hamstring, I knew they were in trouble.
Yeah.
That's a massive loss.
Yeah.
Massive loss.
Massive loss. Yeah. And he's out for a couple of weeks as well.
Well, I'm thinking next week, right, with the Sharks, I reckon they probably go Nico Hines to fullback, Matt Moylan to 5'8", Trindle to halfback. I don't see what else they can do unless they go Connor Tracy fullback again and they put Talakai in the centers and they get an outside back from reserve grade to come in. I don't know, but the Sharks, they're in trouble, bro. But the Panthers, for me, they were in second gear tonight. They weren't even at their best. They were toying with the Sharks, it seemed like. I thought in the second half was a bit whatever, but 28-0 Penrith, just the Sharks. I've got no words for them.
No, I'll say this now. Their season's done. They're not making the 8 now.
They're fucked. They could be out of the 8 next week. If the Rabbitohs beat the Sharks and the Knights beat the Dolphins, Sharks could be out of the 8.
Yep.
Now, look, I think Craig Fitzgibbon's a great coach, and I've got nothing against him at all, but you got to start asking questions about like what's going on here. Like, they can't beat any top teams. They always crumble against the top teams. Like, what the fuck is wrong with the Sharks?
There's no answers about it. They're not doing anything about it. Can't even beat a top 8 team, top 4 team.
Can't even score against the top team. They're beaten by 50 by Melbourne. They're beaten by like 38 against the Warriors in New Zealand. Beaten 28-0 against Penrith. The Broncos beat them in Cronulla earlier this season. South beat them in round 1. Fucking hell, man. Crazy. Penrith, look, I think the thing that Penrith will take out of this, I think what they'll be happy about is that they didn't concede any tries. keeping them to 0. I think that's what they'll take out of this. To not concede a single point, like that's a very good effort, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is. And we haven't seen many teams being held scoreless this year as well.
It doesn't happen very often.
No.
I thought Canberra were going to get fucking kept scores at one point against Newcastle, but look, the Panthers, for me, they were in second gear tonight. They weren't even at their best. Defensively, they were outstanding, but 28-0, it was just clockwork for them, bro. It really was.
Yep, just a training session for them.
Pretty much. Next week, the Panthers take on the Storm in Penrith. Now,
that's a tough
I know
one.
everyone's going to hype it up. Oh, it's the game of the round. It could be the game of the year, blah, blah, blah. Do people not remember, like, 4 to 5 weeks ago, Melbourne played Penrith on a Friday night at Marvel Stadium in Melbourne. Melbourne led 14-0. Penrith came back and won 34-16. They didn't even have Nathan Cleary. Cleary's back, and he's looking very good. Explain to me how Melbourne are going to beat Penrith in Penrith when they couldn't do it in Melbourne when Penrith didn't even have Cleary. So explain to me how Melbourne are going to win next week. I reckon Penrith will destroy Melbourne next week, to be honest.
Yeah, I think Penrith will get on top of Melbourne. Melbourne has stand a chance.
They're just too good. Look, I'd love to see Melbourne beat them. I mean, I think we're all getting sick of the Penrith train, but you know what they say? It's in all sports. If you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. And Penrith are just the team to beat. If you want to win this premiership this season, you're going to have to go through Penrith. You might have to go to Penrith and play them down there, which is a fucking nightmare. Bro, Cody, you might be surprised by this stat. The Panthers have only lost one game this season at Penrith, and that was in round 1 against the Broncos. And obviously the World Club Challenge. But Penrith haven't lost out at Penrith Stadium since round 1.
Yeah. No surprise there. I mean, it's their home ground, and
Fortress.
Very hard to beat them there.
Yeah, I hate fucking going there. It's just a hard place to win. They're a very hard team to beat, especially out at Penrith Stadium there. But not much more to say on this game. But I do want to give a massive shout out to Cameron McInnes. Wow, he broke the record for the most tackles in an NRL game. Shout out to Cameron McInnes, probably the most underrated player in the NRL. I've been saying it for a few years now that McInnes is the most underrated player in the competition. He made 84 tackles tonight.
Wow.
Underrated as hell. Can you believe it?
No.
Can you believe it? Cameron McInnes, 84 tackles. Fuck. That's ridiculous.
It is.
What a machine, man. And I feel sorry for him, bro, because they were beaten 28-0. He made 84 tackles tonight, and he gets nothing out of it, bro. So I feel so sorry for Cameron McInnes. But he is a beast.
Yeah, he definitely is. Very underrated. And he was pretty much the best player for the Sharks tonight, too.
Oh, without a doubt. But anyway, let's wrap this up. Try scorers in the Panthers Sharks game. Obviously, Luai got one, Yo got one, Toto got one, Tariva got one, and Liam Martin got one. My player of the game tonight, I'm going to go with Nathan Cleary. What about you? Who's your player of the game?
Yeah, it's very tough for this game. I'll have to go Cleary as well. Outstanding.
I thought Isaiah Yo also had a very strong game for the Panthers tonight. But Cody, my friend, that's going to wrap up the Saturday football review. Thank you for coming on tonight, bro. And next time I see you, will probably be through the week because I'll be at Seabus Super Stadium tomorrow for the Titans versus the Cowboys, and I'll be doing a vlog and probably like a live review from the ground or something. But mate, thanks for coming on tonight. I really appreciate your time.
Yeah, no worries, Nick. Thanks for having me on once again. And yeah, hopefully I'll be on again sometime in the week. And good luck to the Cowboys tomorrow. All the best. Flog them 13 plus.
Oh, I hope so, bro. I'll be heading up there tomorrow. Probably get up there around I don't know what time I'm even leaving, go up there, but should be up there by lunchtime or something. Who knows? We'll see how we go. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching the review, Saturday football review. If you haven't subscribed to my channel or Cody's, make sure you do. Press the subscribe button. Anyway, have a good night, everyone. Full time, Knights 28-6, Manly 24-18, and Panthers 28-0. Have a good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.